And I think once we get into this, you're going to see the proof that Universal, as suspected, are abusing the YouTube copyright system. It's long been suspected that companies on YouTube are abusing the copyright system just to take down videos that they don't really like. Doesn't matter if they're fair use or not, companies know they can just fill in a form and within an hour or so have a video completely blocked everywhere. Universal is a studio that constantly do this, and I'm sure that there's hundreds of YouTubers watching this who've been through a similar sort of experience to what I'm going to talk about. The only difference is we actually have an email from the company that basically outlines that this is indeed their policy. Now, I was talking to FilmSpeak about this the other day, a great YouTube channel. He actually did a video essay on Jurassic World Dominion, said lots of positive things about it. He was one of the only people that actually liked the movie. And then out of the blue, for some random reason, he got hit with a block. Video pulled down, he had to appeal it, and then it sort of led into a similar thing to what I'm going to talk about. Now, I've obviously ran into this problem a number of times before because we do deal with a lot of spoilers. Whether you think reviewers should be able to go see a movie and then come home and talk about what happens in it, that is your opinion. You know, some people are going to say you shouldn't ever do that. Some people will just say, well, you know, these videos are for people who've seen the movie. They want a more in-depth discussion beyond, this was good, I didn't like this bit. You know, we try and take things up to a different level where we analyze themes in a film or talk about Easter eggs, or, you know, in the case of a Marvel movie, we'll talk about how it compares to the comics and where things could be going in the future. And it's difficult to talk about those things if you don't at least talk about the elements of what's happening in the movie. Now, a lot of studios embrace this. For as bad as people say that Disney is, never ran into a problem with them, talking about all of their movies openly. Sometimes I've said good things, sometimes I've said bad things. And I think they understand that word of mouth around a film, it gets conversation going. If you look at the whole Ant-Man Quantumania thing going on at the moment, you've got people saying the movie's terrible. You've got people saying it's great, it's the best thing ever. And at the heart of it is this discussion of, you know, go see it for yourself. You decide which side of the camp you fall on. Now, M. Night Shyamalan movies, whether you like them or not, you have to admit that they are interesting films at least. People want to talk about them, people want to hear other people talk about them, and that was very much why we decided to cover Knock at the Cabin. Now, before we get to that, I just want to talk about exactly what fair use is and what it's defined as. So you can't just take a movie and upload it to YouTube. You are breaking someone else's copyright. That is their work. You are taking it, publishing it. However, if you do, say, a 6-second clip from that movie where you mute it, talk about what the themes in it are, what's happening, your interpretation of it, and also your thoughts, that's fair use. Now, if you make a video like that, you're not just re-uploading the movie, you are talking in depth about that film, what you take from it, what your analysis is, what you see the ending as being, and it's very much a conversation with your commentary. That is your work. For example, say you're sat at the bus stop with your friend, you're talking about No Way Home, you're saying what's going on in it, you're getting your phone out, you're showing it, being like, oh, look at this picture from this bit. A movie studio can't come along and say, you are not allowed to talk about this. It's very much the same case on YouTube. As long as you're adding commentary, discussion, a review, it's covered under fair use. Basically, if you're making it into something new, it's something new. You own it. Someone just can't come along and take that away from you. But that's exactly what Universal are doing. Now, I asked Jared if he wanted to cover Knock at the Cabin. Obviously, M. Night movies, like we've said, very interesting. He thought he could get something from it. He went out, stayed up all night, writing, recording, got up the next day. I think he had like 2 hours sleep. Made the whole video, spot on, uploaded it. It did really, really well. It was a really well-made video. Very proud of the guy for putting that together. Now, we've actually had issues in the past where we've run into stuff. For example, he did the same thing on Halloween Ends. He went out. I handed the job over to him. I went out for like the first time in about 6 months with my friends because obviously we just had kids. I was out, got a notification at 1 a.m. saying your video has been blocked. No reason why. It was completely fair review of Halloween Ends. And I just rushed home, drunkily made another edit. It wasn't very good. Uploaded it, and that was fine. But ever since then, that's kind of stuck in my mind. So every time we've made one of these movie reviews for a Universal film, we've uploaded 2 copies to the channel. One's been private and one's been public. So if the public one gets blocked, which often happens with Universal, we can instantly put the private one public, and that'll be fine. We actually did that with Knock at the Cabin, and it was online for 10 days, the main video, and I just deleted off the other one because it was taking up room in my dashboard. Anyway, everything seems great. Maybe Universal, maybe they're not going to be dicks for once. Nope, they were put in a block the next day, and basically what that means is your video can't be seen by anyone. It's demonetized. Your channel's kind of like, ooh, we're in trouble, and all the money you've made goes directly to Universal. So those 10 days it was online, that goes to them. So my company has lost money. You know, I've got to pay Jared's wages. I've got to pay editors, myself. All that money gone. So it's like 10 days worth of money completely taken away by Universal. Now, because it's fair use, I instantly disputed it. However, because this was a stricter block, that block remains in place for 48 hours, and Universal have 7 days to basically say, yes or no, this, you know what, this is fair use, or to be like, no, this is the movie, they've just re-uploaded it. This is you haven't transformed it in any way. Now, those 48 hours, that's just a policy YouTube has in place. I don't think it's right. I think once you dispute the video, especially if you've got quite a good standing where you make nothing but fair use videos, I think that should go online instantly again. But, you know, 48 hours, that's blocked, and it basically gives Universal, say, that amount of time to put something together. Gets to the 47th hour, just about to go live, Universal come in, go, actually, you know what? He has stolen our content. So it gets blocked again for another 24 hours, and that deadline of the 5 days gets pushed to another 7. Absolutely ridiculous. And unfortunately, the way YouTube works is you are guilty until proven innocent. If someone claims your video, they say it's theirs. Don't have to provide any proof. Just say, yeah, that's mine. It's not fair use. The video gets taken down. So what comes next? Well, I get a couple of options. I can delete the video, lose all the money from it, goes to Universal, but that's it. So Jared's wasted his time completely. We've lost all the money. It's just, we could have been doing something more productive, which is why we tend to cover more Disney and Warner Brothers stuff, because Universal suck. If I don't do that, which I won't because it's a fair use video, I will get a copyright strike, and then I'll have to go through another appeals process to get that taken away. The video will be blocked again. I'll have to fill in the form. YouTube's copyright team then have to review that. Normally takes about 5 days. Then they decide whether the video can go back online again, which sucks. Very stressful because, as many of you know, if you get 3 strikes, your channel gets deleted. So I lose my job. Jared loses his job. Editors, Matt and Steve, they lose their jobs. Got families to support. You know, I'm clearing out my house. We're moving at the moment. Got a mortgage. Lots of stress because someone in an office somewhere has just decided to do this for the sake of doing it. So this is the first time I've ever done it. Spoke to someone legally who contacted Universal. Now I'm going to read out what their email is. I've blocked out their name because I don't want this specific person getting in trouble, but this is the response, and yeah, it just backs it up that Universal are purposely doing this, purposely targeting people, even though it goes against fair use. So basically, my rep is like, yeah, I work with an outlet called Heavy Spoilers. This video has been blocked, blah, blah, blah. The person replies, hi Mo, just jumping in here. Can we check what type of material/content was within the Heavy Spoilers piece that might lead to a copyright flag? Guessing it means type of material. We would need to look into it further for you. We have, where possible, tried to limit the amount of spoilers mentioned in pieces, and particularly for an M. Night film, we want to maintain the secrecy and intrigue. Even if the film is out, we do endeavour to keep things as fresh for audiences as possible. So completely understand your point on promotion, but just giving an overview of things from our side. So they are openly admitting there that they will block videos. Doesn't matter, they will just block them if they decide that they want to keep it that way. Now you might be thinking, that's fair enough for an M. Night movie, but again, that is your opinion on the matter. That's not the law. That's not what things say on YouTube, the terms of services. You cannot flag a fair use video, and if you do, you are abusing the system. Now I went back to Split, and that was released on the 20th of January. Guess who put out a spoiler podcast on the 23rd with Happy Sad Confused? It was M. Night Shyamalan spoiling his own movie. 3 days after, our video had been out for 10 days, and then it gets flagged. So it's the company basically enforcing and being like, you know what, we're going to intimidate this guy into deleting his video. We don't care that he's worked on it. You know, Jared spent ages doing it. Poor Jared. And it's just getting ridiculous. Universal do this all the time. There's so many other studios. I mean, Disney gets such a bad rep. And you know, the reason why there's so many negative videos about Disney on YouTube is because they don't really care and will let people discuss the company because they're not going to go after people. And the fact that there's so many of those online shows that they're not abusing the system to take videos down. Might be bootlicking a bit. Did just give Quantum Mania a bad review, so Might be trying to get back in the good books. But yeah, Universal, so many YouTubers out there are going to have similar stories to what I've got. The only difference is they've never had a statement back from the person working PR. I think that shows that they are basically admitting that, you know what, yeah, we actually want to keep things secret even after release. I haven't signed anything, never agreed to do that, never went to a private screening. Jared didn't go to a private screening, never signed an embargo thing, never broke embargo, never signed an NDA saying you wouldn't talk about this stuff. How are we supposed to know this? How are we supposed? I mean, there's so many times that I've done a spoiler video for a Universal film, nothing's happened. But because there's some policy inside of their PR where they want to keep things secret and intrigue, I've got to waste my time doing it. We wouldn't have made the video if that had been clear from the start, and it wasn't, because they're just 10 days later, they've looked at the box office for the film. It's about to go on streaming, and they clearly know, crap, we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot with this release. It's not done as well as we want. What can we do to get people to see it? I know there's a popular video talking about the ending, we'll just block it, and then hopefully people will pay for it on VOD. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's such a bad way to go about it. And yeah, I was so mad seeing that email, because it's them just making up the rules for themselves. This is not in place on YouTube. The website article, there's no way they can take that down because I own the website. YouTube, it's a completely different system. They can say what they want, and Universal, they keep on doing this. Having it in black and white like that, written in an email, you know, it really annoys me, because it's something I've suspected for a while, and I think Universal are just dickheads for doing it. Now, obviously, this isn't the CEO of Universal doing it. I'm not blaming him. I always think when this happens that someone's just sat in an office, they've been hired to be, you know, head of copyright on YouTube. The boss will come in and be like, "What have you done today, Timmy? What have you done today?" You know, that guy, he doesn't want to make it seem like he's done nothing, so he's been like, "Had this video taken down, I've had this one." He's just filing false DMCAs because he knows there's no repercussions, and it makes it look like he's doing something. Might be a woman, might be being sexist. But either way, they're just doing this, harassing creators, stopping people talking about their films, and also putting their channels in jeopardy. So from here on out, sick of Universal. I will cover their films because I sod 'em. I'm not going to let this dickhead in the office, Timmy, spoil things for me. But yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous, and having it like this, it's really annoyed me. So yeah, if you went through a similar sort of thing, let me know below. I don't want to be putting out this video, you know, I'm in the middle of moving house, and this is just extra stress that I don't need. So yeah, share this about if you've had a similar experience. I'm sure many of you have. Hopefully we get the video back online very soon, but yeah, that's it, and thanks for sitting through this big rant. Don't really like doing it, very negative, but that's the position that this movie studio put me in. Meant to be entertaining people, and you'd put me in this, you goddamn son of bitches. But I hope Disney's watching this as well, because I said lots of nice things about them. Get me back out there. Thanks.